How did Kanye go from being the most influential rapper ever, a fashion icon worth over $3 billion, to destroying his reputation and career, losing his family, and decimating his net worth after several controversies? In 2020, Ye officially became a billionaire after his exclusive Yeezy sneaker in partnership with Adidas became the most sought-after shoe in the world, while he was also conquering fashion with his minimalist and muted Yeezy collections. And proving himself to still be at the top of the rap game, Ye toured around the globe, creating a frenzy with his mysterious Sunday service performances.
I ain't mean, I'm just focused. Pour the lean out slower. Got us clean out of soda. Before the flood, people judged. They did the same thing to Noah.
As he geared up for the release of his highly anticipated and now classic Donda album. So how could the biggest rapper in the world, rivaled by only Drake, and on pace to overtake Jay-Z as rap's richest billionaire, lose it all in a matter of weeks? And why was his failure not only deserved, but more than earned? Welcome to All Money Media, I'm Julian, and I make videos discussing all things money. Today we're talking about how Kanye went from being one of the most loved and successful artists and fashion influencers in the world to losing everything and becoming one of the most hated celebrities ever. Kanye had always been a creative. He started out writing poetry when he was 5 years old, and he started making beats and selling them by the time he was in the 7th grade. He ended up meeting famed producer No ID, who became his mentor and helped Kanye further hone his craft. After graduating high school in '97, Kanye received a scholarship to attend Chicago's American Academy of Art, where he would take a few art classes, but eventually transferred to Chicago State University, where his mother Donda was a professor. But at the age of 20 years old, Kanye, like most young adults, found himself at the crossroads of possibilities. He could pursue the safer, conventional route of 4 years, a bachelor's degree, and a job with stable income, or he could follow his heart and his passion and take his shot at making it in the music industry. Much to his mother's displeasure, Kanye chose to follow his heart and dropped out of Chicago State University to try to make it as a producer and rapper. He began making beats for local artists in Chicago. In '98, he was the first producer to sign to hip-hop since 1978, founded by G. Roberson and Hip Hop. While still producing for other artists, he formed a rap group, the Go-Getters, with GLC, Timmy G, Really Though, and Aerostar. They would only release one album independently, which didn't make much noise. In '99, Kanye tasted his first bit of success as he produced a track for Foxy Brown's second studio album, China Doll, which would top the billboards. The following year, he started working with several artists on the hottest record label in the rap game, Rockefeller Records. But in 2001, Ye would finally get his big break as he produced 4 of the 13 tracks on Jay-Z's classic album, The Blueprint, which would go on to sell 427,000 copies the first week. With Kanye producing the hit single Izzo and one of the best diss songs in rap history, The Takeover, while other songs like Girls, Girls, Girls and You Don't Know were produced by Just Blaze. Together, the two producers ushered in a new soul sample sound of music, which Kanye would go on to use to perfection with his own albums. But in the meantime, Ye would continue to produce for artists including Beanie Sigel, Freeway, Ludacris, Alicia Keys, and Janet Jackson. By this point, Kanye was successful, but he was unsatisfied just being a producer. He had a bigger vision for himself and was dedicated to making it in the industry as a rapper. However, it would be an uphill battle for Ye. He didn't have the gangster image or the background of rappers at the time. His subject matter was more of the everyday struggle instead of selling drugs or surviving shootouts. He was not what a label was interested in signing or investing in at the time, and would face rejection after rejection after rejection. But Kanye was resilient and determined. He kept producing and took every opportunity to rap in front of anyone and everyone that would listen to him. Partially out of respect for Kanye's aspirations to make it as a rapper, but mostly due to him wanting to keep Kanye's production in-house for Rockefeller, Dame Dash reluctantly signed Ye to a recording contract as an artist in 2002.
And I'm the newest member of the Rockefeller team.
Kanye had finally done it. He was a rapper on one of the most respected labels in the rap game, and he immediately got to work on his debut album. But you know what they say, one step forward, 2 steps back. That same year, tragedy struck Kanye as he was involved in a car accident that nearly took his life. While he survived the accident, his jaw was broken in 3 places, and his life and physical appearance would never be the same. His jaw had to be wired to his face with reconstructive surgery. Many people thought that any of the already slim chances that Kanye had at making it as a rapper in the industry was gone. But Kanye was determined to turn tragedy into triumph. 2 weeks after the accident, Kanye recorded the song that would change his life, Through the Wire, while his jaw was still wired shut. The creative video created by Kanye's childhood friend Kuti detailed Kanye's extraordinary journey and helped him further push the song to success in 2004. It wasn't until the release and the positive reception of Through the Wire that Rockefeller actually believed in Kanye, enough to greenlight his debut album, which had already been postponed several times. Through the Wire peaked at 15 on the billboards, while the album's second single, Slow Jams, featuring Twista and Jamie Foxx, became the first #1 for all 3 artists. But by the time Kanye's debut album, The College Dropout, released in 2004, Kanye's impact was undeniable. Ye's emergence was transcendent. He not only changed the sound of rap, but also the way black men were portrayed in rap music. At the time, rap was 100% gangster or hustler music. But the fact is, not everyone is in the street. Some people do go to college and work regular jobs. And finally, that wasn't seen as corny and was being reflected in a positive manner through music. Kanye's debut album, College Dropout, was the album of the year. And Kanye continued to push boundaries and the acceptance of rap as he went against industry execs and released his 4th single, Jesus Walks. At the time, he was told that this song would destroy his career, but Kanye defied conventional standards and released a song which became Ye's 4th consecutive top 20 Billboards hit. College Dropout would go on to be triple platinum as Kanye would receive 10 Grammy nominations, and he would go on to win Grammys for the Best Rap Album and the Song of the Year for Jesus Walks. Kanye was not just a rap star, he was a crossover star. He created his own lane in music, which rappers like Drake, J. Cole, and Lupe Fiasco would eventually follow. His career success and influence in music and fashion industries will only go up from there. In 2005 and 2007, Kanye released 2 more classic albums, Late Registration and Graduation, respectively. Late Registration would sell 860,000 copies first week, while Graduation would sell over 957,000 copies, outselling 50 Cent's Curtis album by a large margin. On Graduation especially, Kanye seemed to perfect his flow, going toe-to-toe with the likes of Lil Wayne, who was the best rapper in the game at the time. And this era is when Kanye came into his own in fashion, and the world would begin to follow his style trends. However, in November 2007, Kanye's mother Donda, who had virtually been by his side every step of the way throughout his career, had died due to complications from surgery, with his 18-month engagement to his longtime girlfriend ending shortly after. Kanye and his mother were best friends, and this loss would severely impact him. Kanye's next album, 2008's 808 and Heartbreak, was a complete musical departure from his previous releases. With Kanye assisted by autotune, he sung throughout the album. Gone was his soul sample production, now replaced by electronic and minimalist beats. His personal style had a major shift as well, as he dressed up mostly in muted Taylor suits throughout this era. This album would sell over 450,000 copies in the first week, which was much less than Graduation. It also had mixed reviews due to the new sound and visuals. However, it would still debut at #1 on the billboards. Around this time, the world would begin to see a different side of Kanye, as he began to increasingly be involved in very public controversies. He made waves in 2005 during a Hurricane Katrina benefit special, where he took the opportunity, live while on air, to proclaim George Bush didn't care about black people, which at the time many people agreed with due to the government's slow response and seeming lack of assistance to the black residents in New Orleans. In 2006, he interrupted the MTV Europe Award ceremony to complain after he didn't win the best video for Touch the Sky. While these were seen as minor incidents, in 2007, public favor began to turn against Kanye when he criticized MTV Live on Stage for losing the Best Male Video Award to Justin Timberlake. Many people saw this as petty and unprofessional, but that was nothing compared to the 2009 VMAs, where Kanye, who had been drinking Hennessy out of the bottle all night, walked on stage during Taylor Swift's acceptance speech after winning Best Female Video, and grabbed the mic from her and uttered the now famous line,
"Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish."
Before declaring that Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Kanye was thrown out of the show, and the public fallout was devastating to his reputation. Overnight, he became one of the most unliked people in America, as he was heavily criticized by the media as well as other celebrities, with even President Obama calling him a jackass. As Kanye retreated from the public spotlight a bit, he turned his attention toward fashion and footwear. As Kanye had been dabbling in fashion throughout his career, in 2009 he partnered with Nike to develop the Air Yeezy, which ended up being one of the most classic shoes ever. Red Octobers today sell for tens of thousands of dollars on the resale market, but their partnership fell apart in 2013 as Nike refused to pay Kanye royalties on the Yeezy sales, which is crazy, as the last Nike Yeezy collab released in 2014 sold out in just 11 minutes. By 2010, Kanye had begun working on music again, and he began his now infamous remote work process by relocating to Hawaii and having producers, engineers, and artists fly to him to record. That year, he released his comeback album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, to critical acclaim. This album was an absolute work of art, and in my opinion, it was Kanye's last classic solo album. With hits like Power, All of the Lights, Runaway, and Monster, it would sell over 496,000 copies, reaching #1 on the billboards. In 2011, Jay-Z and Kanye released a dream collab album, Watch the Throne, which debuted at #1 and is Kanye's third highest selling album of all times, having sold 5,555,000 copies till this day, with hit songs like Ham, Otis, and of course, is in Paris. Hov and Ye's Watch the Throne tour was a massive success, and Ye's first tour in 4 years. After this album, Ye's music became a lot more experimental and less structured. Yeezus was released in 2013, and though it reached #1 on the billboards and sold 327,000 copies, reception was very mixed on this album. This album was loud and abrasive with an electric punk sound. And though he did rap on the album, it was far from a conventional rap album. It was around this time that Ye's audience began to fracture. There was a clear distinction between his original fans from the days of College Dropout or even Graduation to his newer fans who loved any and everything he released. Around this time, Kanye would begin to raise question marks with some of the titles of his songs: Black Skinhead, I Am a God, New Slaves. He would also begin to perform and be seen in public with an assortment of strange masks. Also, the often calm and collected persona of Kanye will begin to switch, especially in interviews, to more aggressive and unhinged. More questions would arise when Kanye would release merch for his Yeezus tour featuring the Confederate flag. For Black Americans, the Confederate flag represents the support of slavery and white supremacy. So for Kanye to be pushing that imagery was an insult, especially for Black people that had been supporting him throughout his career. After being called out for the controversy, Kanye unapologetically explained that he was repurposing the flag to make it his own. Little did we know then, but this was just the beginning of Kanye walking the line and embracing racial insensitivities that would later destroy him. In the meantime, Kanye wouldn't slow down. In 2013, he and Adidas would announce their partnership as they worked to develop a Yeezy shoe line with the limited release of around 9,000 Yeezy Boost 750s later that year, which sold out in minutes. In 2014, he would marry Kim Kardashian, while in 2015, Ye released his first apparel collection of stripped-down, flesh-tone colored clothes ranging from $600 to $3,000 for different items. That same year, Yeezy would release his second shoe and continue releasing shoes that would instantly sell out and fetch very high resale prices. This partnership boosted sales and market share for Adidas, who had been struggling to compete with Nike and Reebok. However, 2016 was a roller coaster year for Kanye, and the year that many fans that had still been hanging on hopped off the Kanye ride. The year started with him releasing The Life of Pablo, which was a much better received album than his previous release, becoming his 7th #1 album on the Billboards. However, it only sold around 90,000 due to the album releasing exclusively with Tidal before being released on other streaming services later. With this album, Kanye released a very strange and controversial music video featuring nude wax sculptures of various celebrities, including Taylor Swift, which fans called Kanye out on. During his Life of Pablo tour, he began ranting on stage during several performances, attacking both Jay and Beyonce, and accusing Jay-Z of having killers that he was going to send at him. He was later hospitalized for exhaustion and sleep deprivation. Kanye's problematic behavior was no longer going unnoticed, as J. Cole called out Kanye for various reasons, including dropping low-quality music, being lost, inauthentic, and struggling mentally on his song False Prophets. Jay-Z also responded on his 444 album in 2017 on his song Kill Jay-Z. But in 2016, his biggest controversy to that point became his staunch support of the most controversial president in recent history, Donald Trump, who campaigned with hateful rhetoric as he hosted rallies which proved to be hostile places for people of color. In 2018, Kanye further showed his love and support for Trump by being photoed wearing the notorious red Make America Great Again hat, which to many people was a symbol of hate and white supremacy, on par with the Confederate flag that Kanye also put on his clothes and promoted. At this point, even Kanye's fans were outraged by his support of Trump and MAGA, and many accused him of being in the sunken place as he began to strongly align with other conservatives. Kanye's support of Trump and embrace of MAGA alienated his fans. That did damage to his career and the public's perception of him that no other controversy had to that point. Kanye very publicly began to regurgitate troubling views on race in America while proclaiming his love for Trump whenever possible. During an appearance at TMZ's headquarters, live on air, what many viewed as anti-black speech became very apparent. Van Lathan, the TMZ employee, quickly confronted Kanye. While Kanye initially apologized on air, later on Twitter, he tried to make the issue about mental slavery and being free thinkers. But the damage was done. He would go on to release Ye the following month, selling between 175 and 190K, which was much less than previous releases. However, it still went #1 on Billboard. But the controversies didn't stop there. He used his musical guest appearance on Saturday Night Live in September to rant about politics and his support of Donald Trump. In 2019, Kanye declared himself to be saved and released Jesus is King, a gospel-themed album, to mixed reviews. However, it opened at #1 on the Billboard, selling 264,000 copies the first week. Kanye, who was seemingly on a mission to restore his reputation after his divisive Trump support, created a Christian gathering called Sunday Service, where a collective of singers and performers would tour around with quasi-Christian performances every week. To me and others, it came off a bit cultish. However, a huge win came for Kanye in 2020 when he was officially declared a billionaire with a net worth of $1 billion, joining the likes of Jay-Z. His Adidas partnership had proved to be a huge triumph for Ye, as his wealth would only grow. By 2021, his net worth jumped to $1.8 billion, and it jumped again in 2002 to $2 billion. And in the summer of 2021, Ye began to hold huge listening sessions at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium for his upcoming Donda album. This album seemed like a return to his roots on several levels, with this being a more conventional rap album. This album sold 309,000 copies the first week and was Kanye's 10th #1 album. But by 2022, Kanye was neck deep in controversy again. He and Kim Kardashian had separated the previous year with her filing for divorce, and Kanye publicly began attacking her and her then boyfriend Pete Davidson on social media in songs and interviews. In 2022, he began to publicly air out Kim Kardashian and their issues with their marriage as well as parenting, which made it a very messy situation before settling their divorce later that year. He also released Donda 2 exclusively to a device called the Stem Player that you would have to purchase for $200 in order to have access to the album. Throughout his career, Kanye has survived through many setbacks and controversies, many of which were self-inflicted. But what happened next would be the beginning of Kanye's downfall. In October, at his fashion show in Paris, Kanye debuted shirts with White Lives Matter on the back, with pictures of he and conservative commentator Candace Owens, which outraged the internet. But he refused to apologize and instead attacked just about everyone that criticized him. Taking things a step further, on October 8th, Kanye tweeted out the tweet that would change his life, leading Twitter to suspend his account. Kanye was then scheduled to appear on Maverick Carter's The Shop, but the entire episode was canceled due to Kanye's apparent hate speech, which was featured on the show. However, Kanye would appear on Drink Champs, who for some reason aired the full episode instead of canceling it like The Shop did. Kanye was unhinged, and the episode was hours of anti-Semitism, anti-blackness, and falsehoods about the murder of George Floyd, saying that he died from a fentanyl overdose, as well as more attacks on the Jewish community. All of these claims went unchallenged by the host of the show. The next day, Nori called into the Breakfast Club and apologized for airing the interview. Due to his comments, businesses began cutting ties with Kanye. Adidas ended his partnership with Kanye, acknowledging that the company would take an immediate hit of around $250 million. The end of this partnership decimated Kanye's net worth as he lost $1.6 billion and immediately fell off the Forbes billionaires list. Gap and Balenciaga would then follow suit and end their relationship with Kanye. Creative Arts Agency would also no longer work with Kanye. Kanye, who had long displayed erratic, anti-black, and now anti-Semitic behavior, had finally been canceled after claiming that he couldn't be canceled. The fact that he still had a career after the support of the MAGA hat and his Confederate flag clothing line is a testament that people were still supporting Kanye because of who he once was, the ideals he once stood for, and the genius that he built his career off of. And while Kanye may release more music in the future, and he may even find success, his legacy is forever tarnished. His public actions and statements has alienated family and friends, destroyed his reputation and career, and has made the person that we see today unrecognizable. But thanks for checking out the video. Please like and share, and leave your thoughts below. Let me know what you think about Kanye. Is he gonna make a comeback? And would you support him if he does? Make sure you check out the next video. Peace.